with another video. Today we have What If Naruto was Obito's little brother, part 9. Usually we'd be on the war right now, but so let's hear things on up along. Anyways, before we start, as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, enjoy. Now, let's get started.
With the fever dreams, I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work like I got vision, I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's you lost. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast, so until I have it.
Alright, starter things off. Naruto eventually arrives to the hideout. Well, the forest near the hideout. He probably sees Suigetsu, Karin, and Jugo fighting Kisame. Had to remember Jugo for a second. Naruto would easily pass by the three. Maybe Kisame would look overhead, wondering someone passed, and would quickly turn back to block an attack, I don't know, from Suigetsu. Anyways, Naruto eventually is able to catch up with Sasuke and would say behind him that it's been a while, as Sasuke would turn around him to shockingly see Naruto. The two take a second to reconnect. Sasuke would begin to even get a little sentimental, letting his guard down and telling Naruto, well, trying to tell him that he's sorry, but Naruto would tell him to say that later, as the two would continue on to Itachi's hideout. And Naruto would say something shocking to Sasuke once they would get there, about close just outside, saying that he should be the one to kill Itachi. Well, deal the final blow anyways. Sasuke would ask why, and Naruto would bring up that Itachi is kind of more closely related to him, since the two would have been through more together, their encounters during the whole Tsunade retreat, for Tsunade mission arc. Sasuke would have no objection to this, and telling Naruto that he better not get cold feet during the actual, ending of the fight, and Naruto would say he wouldn't think of it. And the two would eventually head inside the building. The two would meet Itachi there, and Sasuke would be the first to attack, about pretty similar to how he did in canon. And Itachi would have to double his efforts when Naruto would come in trying to also swing at him. The sword probably have to block it with his kunai, and would have to quickly substitute out of the way as a wood dragon would come from behind him. But luckily Sasuke would be able to catch him from behind with his sword, and from here we get the same exposition dump about Madara. So Naruto would be able to kind of verify that's true, since he has encountered Madara before. Obito, but he's kind of going by Madara now. Although he would think this in his head, not wanting to reveal that he's been hanging out with Madara. But anyways, after this the true fight can begin. Before that, Naruto will bring up, does Itachi remember him? Which he does from the meeting. That's what Itachi would answer, but Naruto would go, no, like much later when they first met during the massacre. Bring it up that he killed his parents, as Itachi would say he's going to need to be more specific. Naruto a lot more angry that he doesn't even remember what he did. Weave some hand signs quickly, casting a Phoenix Flyer Jutsu and aiming it straight towards the man. Itachi would jump to the air and would immediately have to bring out a kunai, blocking an incoming attack from Sasuke. And the three would clash with blades and kunai for a while, just to off with the small stuff, before Naruto would get using another fire jutsu, using the flaming dragon bullet this time. Sasuke activating his curse mark and using a fireball jutsu himself, as Itachi would use his great fireball jutsu, but it would quickly be overpowered, as he would use Amaterasu to give it that extra boost, which would overpower the two, but Naruto and Sasuke would jump out of the way just before it would hit them, although it would still catch Sasuke's wing on fire. He escaped that just fine, as in canon, as Naruto would cast multiple wood dragons, send them all at Itachi, will begin to jump into the air and start slicing at them with his kunai, However, this would give Sasuke a chance and he would launch his fireball jutsu from underground. Itachi would have no time to dodge this, so a few of them would be a direct hit. Would even burn off some of his robe as Naruto would throw a kunai him when he's coming down. Itachi expecting to easily defect it with his own, well, one he has left over, but would be even more surprised when Naruto would swap places with the thing and slash at Itachi's chest, creating a cutoff, though it isn't too deep. But some blood would spout out from it, and Sasuke would come in with the Chidori to try and stab Itachi. With Naruto getting ready to go for another swing, kinda catching him in between the attacks. And so Itachi would have to play his trump card much sooner and bring out the Susanoo and would basically collapse most of the Uchiha hideout with it. As this would bury the three under rubble. As Sasuke would be the first to get up and would even ask where Naruto is before he would get up after, saying that he wouldn't die that easily. Before Itachi would show himself too with the skeleton part of the Susanoo until it would wrap itself up in armor, give it a sword and shield, and to get to see the Susanoo for the first time. Yay! As Naruto would ask if Sasuke has any other tricks up his sleeve, and Sasuke would say he has one. It takes some time to charge, as Naruto would say he can buy him that time. He cast the Wood Golem Jutsu and going to have a kaiju battle with Itachi, although he isn't exactly breaking through any of the Susanoo's defenses. Casting a few Wood Dragon Jutsus to bite into the thing, but this would be ineffective, although one bite would actually cause a crack in it. As Itachi's sickness by now would be starting to catch up to the guy. As after seeing this, Naruto would get a glimmer of hope and try to go with the volley of punches. However, Itachi would just end up using Amaterasu and burning the thing down. Naruto would then, while jumping down from the golem, would be hit by Itachi's shield, slammed straight into the ground. Before he's killed by his sword, is able to swap places with the piece of rubble, although just barely, but this would have given Sasuke enough time to finish, charging Kirin. He launched, what seems to be their final hope straight to Itachi as one big explosion and a bunch of light. Later, Itachi Susanoo would still be there, though probably a few cracks this time, but still, thing is kinda there. In Sasuke's beginning to run a bit low on chakra. Naruto's chakra reserves are pretty high, about as high as Obito, so it's good for a while. So would spawn a few wood clones in and fire a few fire dragon bullets at the Susanoo. Along with Sasuke firing his own fireball jutsu, he wouldn't have used as much chakra during the fight. In the attacks, all pushing Itachi Susanoo back for a bit, until Itachi would eventually knock them away. And by this point, Sasuke would be about in the same state as in canon, and so would still try to search for more power, and would bring out Orochimaru's whole snake hydra thing. That has his whole battle with Itachi, with Itachi giving his last bit of energy to seal that thing away, and so would Sasuke's curse mark, and would end Itachi Susanoo, and then by this point he's just there dying. So would still held his last charge towards Sasuke with Naruto getting in front of him and would die in front of the two, falling straight down to the ground. Though before dying, Itachi would remark that he remembers Naruto now, having a small flashback to him killing his parents and delivering a slash to his chest before dying. This, of course, ends the fight, and Sasuke by now would fall down to exhaustion. Naruto would catch him, and after a while would take him back to Jugo Suigetsu and Karin. He would at first probably have some hostility, but Naruto would simply explain the situation as the two go to a nearby town where Naruto would also pick up Itachi's body and keep it in a sealing scroll, not to just leave his corpse there. MS there, more importantly, though. But anyways, we move on, and after a while, Sasuke would wake up, and Naruto would tell him what happened while he was out. A little while of just, sitting around thinking what to do next, as Naruto would just say, "You can't return to the village." And Sasuke would note that they kind of have nothing else to really do, so while they are eventually head to Lee Village and are stopped by the guards at the gate and are escorted in to see Tsunade, but would suddenly stop as a giant explosion would happen behind them. Inside the village, with multiple giant animals coming from it, although they can't see that, as by now the pain invasion will have begun. Anyways, that's where we'll be leaving things off with a little cliffhanger for you. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this part. And of course, before we leave, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you like these more consistent, longer videos. And also let me know what you think of the video. But with that, we're out. Peace, and thanks for watching.